Welcome to Orbit, everybody. It's Salem coming at you with a brand new video, and today's a very exciting day because we are receiving the first update for Overwatch's Season 2 Summit, which is giving us the new hero Sierra, the new DPS. We are getting the Antarctic Peninsula rework, and we're getting Ramatra and Stadium, and all sorts of other good stuff. And you know what time it is. It's time to read these patch notes. I've had one thing spoiled for me, and it's honestly getting me to crash out. We'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start reading these off. We have Season 2 Summit patch notes. The story resumes in Reign of Talon Season 2 Summit, raising the stakes as the new damage hero Sierra joins the Overwatch ranks, and letting you learn her lore in an Operation Grand Mesa event. Then celebrate your squad with the return of post-match accolades and explore a reworked Antarctic Peninsula. Plus, Overclock Justice as Mythic Volted Overdrive Soldier 76, and wield the Sumi Ichimonji Genji Mythic weapon to cut down your foes in style. Ramatra steps into Stadium alongside a new Lijiang Night Market map to expand experimentation and test your skills. And spring has sprung in the Battle Pass and shop, with Spring Fairy and Sakura look for you to truly bloom on the battlefield. The climb is on, find out what lies beyond the summit. Yeah, I completely forgot we're getting post-match accolades, which is going to be great for my content. We are getting the Soldier Mythic, as well as the Genji Mythic weapon, and I think it's Ana coming in mid-season for the Mythic. I think we're getting a second Ana Mythic, unless they drop the Iliari one now. Yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and read the entire Operation Grand Mesa event. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause here. Looks like we're getting some loot boxes and stuff, though, which is pretty good. Then we have Junkrat's Loot Hunt coming May 8th to the 11th. And we have the Switch 2 version, which is really good for anyone on the Switch 2 so that they have better performance. There's also the post-match accolades. Again, this is not a thing I will be reading out, but you can go ahead and pause if you would like. But I'm definitely going to be trying to take advantage of this because I can only imagine how easy it's going to be to farm content. And there's now the map voting update. I'm not going to read it all out, but I will mention that it's basically like a majority rules now. If something overwhelmingly wins like 4-1 or something like that, I believe it'll go to the 4. So you basically can't get that like sneaky little random vote for some, good map instead of King's Row. Admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of that, especially, and also now there's the like new or reworked map thing where you basically lose less SR if you lose on it, so it's just going to make new maps always get voted for, which is going to be stale in the same manner that not playing new maps is going to feel stale. I don't know, but it's nice that at least 2 different game modes will now be offered at all times, because it always sucked. It's just like, man, I'm having a roll playing like Control and Flashpoint, and that's 3 card maps. Okay. And there's also a Mystery Heroes updates. I completely forgot this even existed. 6v6, map voting disabled, perks disabled, tanks are now 6v6 balanced. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. I never really played this game mode outside of, like, I think I was trophy farming or something like that. Other than that, I don't really touch the mode myself. But, is this good, Mystery Heroes players? Moving on, we finally have, this is what everyone's here for, let's be real, the hero updates. Developer comments, several heroes' perks have become core to how they are played, reinforcing their identity in moment-to-moment gameplay. In Season 2, we're moving select perks directly into heroes' base kits to better support these playstyles. To offset these changes, we're introducing several new perks, tuning existing perks, and adjusting perk costs across many heroes to better align with the average time for earning minor and major perks. We're continuing to evaluate mobility across the roster and are targeting heroes whose movement options feel too frequent or overly impactful. And that's what's gonna get me in a little bit. With 5 new heroes being added, we're also making balance adjustments specific to 6v6 to address heroes that are over or underperforming compared to 5v5. As a reminder, all 5v5 hero changes apply to both modes unless explicitly stated otherwise. Roster updates, Sierra's been added to the damage roster. Console aim assist. Since the aim assist rework in Season 20, hit scan heroes tended to outperform other roles on console. Really? Who could have told you that? This adjustment reduces the strength of hit scan aim assist to better align with its pre-Season 20 performance. Hit scan auto assist strength reduced by 4% to more closely match its pre-Season 20 value. So what's the point? Changes not affect legacy strength. Yeah, so what's the point? Is this just like helping projectile characters and that's it? Recon sub-roll passive. The reveal duration for the recon sub-roll can feel lengthy, especially for enemies who may not be aware they've been revealed. Reducing the duration will make the effect window clearer and easier to play around. Vision duration on low health enemies reduced from 5 to 3.5 seconds. I actually completely forgot this sub-roll existed. It definitely feels like one of the weaker sub-rolls, but I guess this is like a nerf to characters like Echo and Sombra. I think Sierra is also a recon, and I know Freya is as well, which is like kind of a weird choice to me. I personally don't play any of the recon heroes. I used to play Freya, but that was about it. So yeah, anyone that plays these characters in this sub-roll, let me know how this feels. Alright, starting off for tank, we have Sigma. Sigma, the only thing that really feels annoying to play into is like his shield in 6v6. I'm not sure, so I don't play a lot of 5v5 these days, admittedly. So a lot of my balance takes will be based on how I play against these characters in 6v6. And really the only thing that's annoying about Sigma is just like how crazy his shield uptime can be, which it looks like I kind of flashed it a bit. We might be getting a change to his minor perk that helps him regenerate it faster, which it looks like it now restores berry health only when damaging enemy heroes. I don't know what it did before. I guess maybe it just made it like regenerate faster, period, or like started the regeneration faster or something. I think this is fair. I think this is totally fine. It makes the Sigma have to actually like land their shots. That'll reduce the uptime a little bit without being like super hindering. And then experimental barrier, 6v6 maximum health reduced from 650 to 600. Awesome. Thank you. I hope they do the same to Domina, like at least a tiny bit, because this is exactly what I've been asking for so long. In 6v6, ever since the release of Domina, there's just been a really, really bad double shield meta. It's like the poke meta was already kind of bad even in 5v5, but in 6v6 it was even worse, because you'd have like a Sigma and a Domina kind of stacked together with like a Zen in the back with his 30% Discord. Oh yeah, I definitely... In terms of the things that I actually want to hit, it's like Roadhog and then Zenyatta Discord. That's like really the only things that I can think of. But yeah, and like you would just get absolutely melted if you tried to turn the corner at any point. It was really, really rough. So it basically felt like on any long range map like Circuit, you had to get rid of either Sigma or Domina. Hopefully this actually helps a lot. Like I said, if they hit Domina down to like 200 per square instead of 225 or something, I think this will actually be really, really good. Ramatra, I think one of his perks is becoming base kit. I'm not sure, because he's getting his old prolonged barrier perk back that was revealed. Other than that, can't think of anything too crazy for Ram. Vengeful Vortex perks significantly improve the flexibility of Ravenous Vortex, especially when interacting with airborne targets. That functionality has been added to the base ability with reduced damage. Prolonged Barrier returns as minor perk option, and Void Surge has been buffed and moved to a major perk. Oh yeah, because Vengeful Vortex was a major perk, not a minor perk. Yeah, so Void Surge getting moved to a major kind of sucks. I don't know, I feel like Prolonged Barrier is kind of bad, and also the other perk, like I think it's like the extra half a second to Nemesis form whenever you land a punch. I think that's also kind of bad. And this will reduce a lot of your like poke damage uptime. So it's kind of annoying because I really want more stuff for him to do in his Omnic form. That's been one of my biggest complaints. I think Ram could use a very slight rework so you could do more in your Omnic form. But I think this is still pretty good because, I mean, Vengeful Vortex was actually really nice for taking care of targets like Pharah. Just gonna suck as a Juno player because, oh my god, it feels like every Vortex hits me like every time. So I think this gives him a little bit more flexibility. Reinhardt, I actually don't know how much Reinhardt needs, because like I want to assume it's buffed because Ryan is historically really bad in any rank past Plat, but then you have like Plat and below where he's like kind of Thanos, especially when he gets like double pocketed. So I'm not sure if he's gonna get a buff or a nerf. Shield Slam minor perk added a custom setting allowing Shield Slam to be bound to quick melee, enabling free look while the perk is equipped. Oh, okay. So just a quality of life buff. This is actually really nice because a lot of people complained that Shield Slam, while it was okay, it wasn't really worth it because you lost the ability to move your camera around by if you hold your shield and then you hold your swing button as well and you look around, then it would allow you to like move your camera without moving your shield. And so that was one of the big things that a lot of Reinhardt players would complain about. I think that's actually an awesome change. Roadhog, oh my god, please nerf this guy. It's like, you know, don't get me wrong, I like Roadhog. I like playing with a good Roadhog on my team, but something needs to be done. He needs some kind of like extra ability, like a gas bomb or something, or some kind of charge or whatever to take space without relying on Hook to like get kills, and then Hook needs to just be a displacement tool because, oh man, Hog is just ridiculous right now. Like all these micro buffs have just been terrible and terrible, so I'm gonna assume he's getting nerfed. The Roadhog's combo becoming more reliable as overall effectiveness has increased. These changes reduce how frequently the combo can be executed and require more deliberate use of Chain Hook. Invigorate has also been replaced due to its overlap with the Bruiser sub-roll. Scrap Gun, reload time increased from 1.5 to 1.75 seconds. Chain Hook, cooldown increased from 6 to 8 seconds. Invigorate, which I think is the one that gave him speed when he was like using his juice, major perk removed. Hogdrogen Exposure major perk added. Take a breather, now heals nearby allies for 50% of its healing amount. Okay, so they brought back this perk. So I don't know how I feel about this. I do like this major perk. I've always been a fan of this major perk. It feels really nice, and it gives you a lot of ult charge as well, and it makes you feel a bit more quote-unquote tanky, as opposed to just being like a fat DPS, because it gives you like your teammates utility as well. But I'm not sure about this. especially the scrap gun change, because this reduces his uptime without using a hook completely. So one of the big problems with Hog is that he's Feast or Famine, revolving completely around his hook. And this, by increasing the cooldown from 6 to 8 seconds and increasing the reload time of his gun, this is just going to make Roadhog feel really bad to play, but it's still going to feel really bad to get hooked and die, and it's going to feel even more sacky because it's going to be less frequent. This was just a completely terrible idea. What are they doing, man? They should have just walked back the changes. I can already hear the Spylo video in my ear right now. This is terrible. Rejoice, because you can peek the Hog a little bit more frequently, but if you play Hog, this is just going to feel miserable, and it's still going to feel miserable to die to a Hog hook. I don't know, man. He needs another actual rework at this point, which I think they said it's planned, but like, this is just going to leave him feeling bad until then. Moving on to Winston, I'm not sure what Winston would need. I think he's felt like okay. Developer comment, adding increased damage to deployables to Winston's base kit introduces unique interactions and improves his effectiveness within certain matchups without increasing base weapon power. 6v6 base health reduced from 350 to 325. Total health including armor and shields reduced from 550 to 525. Tesla Cannon deals 50% increased damage to deployables. So they added the deployable perk to base kit, which is, I mean, I think that's fine. It's like I said, it's more unique than anything as opposed to being like super crazy. And then changing his base health in 6v6, I find that kind of interesting because I never really found him super oppressive. More than anything, it's always just like Bubble, you know, that feels really bad. But Winston in general feels like he felt fine. Oh, but hey, any hit to dive is a friend of mine, especially after what Juno gets this patch. Wrecking Ball. I think Ball needs a survivability nerf, specifically towards his shield. I think Adaptive Shield is a really awfully designed perk. I think his perks in general are kind of just ridiculous for the most part, especially the, multi-ball and the Adaptive Barrier. But the big problem with Ball is that there's a lot of, like, faux value, because you feel like you're getting value by just not dying, but a lot of the time you're not really doing anything either. You just have so much survivability, so I feel like he definitely needs a tweak to his HP. 6v6 base health reduced from 475 to 450. Okay, so it is a nerf to Ball survivability, only in 6v6, but I mean, hey, any change to 6v6, I'm happy with. I feel like this is definitely justified. That's it for the tanks. Moving on to the DPS, starting off with Onron. I'm assuming Onron's going to get some damage buffs here. I always felt Onron was actually not as bad as people made her out to be. I feel like she just had a big learning curve, and you had to play her a lot differently from a lot of other dive characters. Her best aspect was her survivability. She had basically 3 survivability cooldowns and a resurrect, as well as some really crazy perks for giving her extra health basically. I felt like she was more of a chippy kind of character, kind of like how Genji was in certain iterations, where you kind of poke from a distance first, then you would go in for an engagement. But I feel like because a lot of people are like complaining about her damage numbers, they're probably going to buff her damage numbers a little bit here. Onron's damage could feel underpowered relative to the time required to ignite enemies. Increasing Fan the Flames damage improves her ability to secure eliminations, while adding healing to Dancing Blaze's base kit rewards effective use of the ability and improves her survivability. Perk costs. Minor perk costs reduced by 7%. Major perk costs reduced by 5%. Fan the Flames impact damage increased from 5 to 6. I'm pretty sure it was like 4 on release, so they keep buffing this. Inferno Rush impact damage reduced from 50 to 30. Dancing Blaze now heals Onron for 50 health on the first target hit and 25 health for each subsequent target. And then Hungry Blaze major perk change increases the healing of Dancing Blaze subsequent strikes by 25. So this will become what it was basically before. I'm glad they reduced the damage from the Inferno Rush, because I feel like this would have been like way too much on top of that, especially with the Dancing Blaze change. Her survivability just went up like even more. Like her survivability is going to be really, really crazy now, because she has that base kit healing. That'll also give her a lot more uptime to get her like damage going in general, and like her ult charge and stuff. I think this is actually a huge buff to Onron. This might actually put Onron on a tier. Like this is a really insane buff to Onron. Moving on to Ashe. I mean, Ashe, as much as I don't like her, has always felt kind of okay for the last few seasons. So I don't know. Double-barreled minor perk, time required to re-trigger Coach Gun increased from 1 to 2 seconds. What does that mean? So, like, does that mean that you have to wait longer before using your second Coach Gun charge? I mean, I guess. I haven't really seen a lot of Ashe players use this perk, admittedly, as crazy as I think it is, so I don't really have a comment on this. Moving on to Bastion. I feel like Bastion's been in a really good spot. I feel like he's been pretty strong, but not like super overtuned now that they nerfed, I believe it was his damage numbers to compensate for his increased fire rate. So maybe they'll like implement a perk. Ooh, imagine they implement the grenade on swap perk. That'd be kind of ridiculous, wouldn't it? Okay, perk cost, minor perk cost increased by 10%, major perk cost increased by 6%. Configuration reload mana perk no longer fully refunds cooldown, now reduces cooldown by 4 seconds. Armored artillery minor perk overhealth degeneration reduced from 100 to 50 per second. So I'm not sure about the armored artillery. I feel like this was... Oh, degeneration. There's actually a buff. Okay. Because they're trying to get you to use this more by nerfing the configuration reload. Yeah, this was genuinely kind of a ridiculous perk. I'm not gonna lie. I've been playing a lot of Bastion in my free time just for fun, and this perk is kind of ridiculous. I mean, getting able to spam like 3 grenades in a row basically let you delete people, including tanks, even faster than you could before. So I feel like these are probably pretty warranted. Moving on to Echo, I'm actually not sure. I mean, I'm gonna say this a lot, I'm not sure, but like, I'm not sure what they would do with Echo, because Echo is constantly fluctuating in a spot where it's like, it feels like she's really weak, so they keep micro buffing her, but I feel like at one point they're gonna do what they did with like Diva and Orisa and all these other characters. They kept micro buffing Hog, and she's gonna get to a point where she's like super strong. They might make the copy teammate perk base kit. They might actually do that. Like Echo duplicate ally heroes opens up new strategic options and able to more creative. Yeah, okay. So it just bare minimum was she's able to duplicate allies now. That's good. I think that's a really, really good change. I feel like it gives Echo so much more versatility, especially because she's already such a difficult hero, because you have to have such like at least base level knowledge on every other hero's kits to get value out of duplicate. Not to mention even just her base kit alone is actually like pretty complicated in terms of like how you play. And then Focus Rush minor perk range increase from 4 to 6 meters. Is this like what? Buffing the range of her beam? Yeah, so this is a good change for Echo. I feel like this is a good enough quality of life change that isn't like buffing her numbers like crazy or whatever. That'll like make her broken. I feel like this is just really good. Moving on to Emery. I think Emery's been actually like kind of Thanos. He's been like really good and kind of running the hit scan role right now. He's literally better Sojourn right now. In OWCS. I can see maybe a nerf to his ult as like a kind of a random change, but genuinely I think just lowering his fall off back to what it was on launch is probably fine, because I feel like he needed either the fall off or the damage buff, and he ended up getting both, which is kind of like, ugh. Maybe they might even revert the grenade change. I don't know. Bare minimum though, I'm expecting a nerf for Emery. Also Heatsink. Heatsink is ridiculous. Siphon Blaster, add an accessibility option which allows players that hold secondary fire to automatically fire Siphon Blaster at a reduced fire rate. Heatsink major perk, heat generated from direct hits reduced from 100% to 60%. Is that a buff? Oh, okay, no, so I just read it wrong. They completely changed the perk. Okay, they didn't, like, add something to it. Okay, so yeah, Heatsink now, instead of doing, I believe, the reduced heat and also the extended duration and stuff like that, it just reduces the heat from direct hits. Okay, this like really confused me for a second, because they don't have any like dev notes. They have dev notes on like everything else except for Emery. They're just like, yeah, let's just nerf Emery, lol. Okay, good change, good change. Junkrat. Are they like adding a perk base kit for Junk? Mine recycling, major perk, move from minor to major. Eliminations with concussion mine restore 1 charge. Bomb Voyage minor perk, move from major to minor. Attack speed bonus reduced from 35 to 25. I've never seen this perk. What is this perk? I literally just always default to frag cannon. That is really funny. I guess this is supposed to give you more incentive to like have to choose between frag cannon and mine recycling, but admittedly I always pick nitro boost anyway, so this isn't really gonna affect me personally on Junkrat. But I guess the people that really like the mine recycling, they're gonna have to wait longer to get it. But I definitely think Nitro Boost is gonna be the 100% the main pick now. Pharah, so we know she's getting drift thrusters and she's getting that new concussive blast perk. But I'm really hoping they do more to like tone her down in general to compensate for that, because concussive blast dealing damage is kind of ridiculous. And then also now with Mercy getting flash heal and stuff, Pharah Mercy is gonna be like significantly stronger. Drift Thruster's functionality has been added to Pharah's Barrage, allowing limited movement during the ultimate to reduce friction when using it. Barrage damage has been slightly reduced to offset the added flexibility. Hover Jet's bonus movement speed reduced from 40% to 30%. Okay, yeah, so yeah, this is part of them nerfing a bunch of mobility in the game, which you'll see later. Barrage, Pharah can now move while using Barrage, but explosion damage reduced from 30 to 25. Drift Thruster's minor perk removed. Concussive Force minor perk added. Concussive Blast deals up to 50 explosion damage. I feel like these are all good changes, but this is definitely going to be really, really scary, because apparently Concussive Blast used to have 30 base kit damage or something like that. They added that, and that was too strong, and now they're adding a whole perk that gives it 50 damage, which is kind of ridiculous. I feel like this plus her major perks, she can like combo people like insanely easily. Reaper, I know he's getting dire triggers, and so I'm wondering what else they're gonna change. Maybe like fade movement speed if they're doing all the movement speed stuff. Dire Trigger's been moved into Reaper's base kit to give him more consistent mid-range options on a cooldown. This change adds additional decision-making skill expression to his gameplay. Dire Trigger's moved from perk to baseline ability cooldown and increased from 3 to 6 seconds. Trigger Finger major perk added using an ability or reloading refreshes Dire Trigger's cooldown. So I'm not sure about Dire Triggers getting added to Reaper's base kit because it feels like they're kind of taking a lot of these specialist characters and try to make them more jack of all trades, which is a big problem I've noticed in a lot of modern hero design for Overwatch, is that they kind of don't really have like a lot of specialist heroes anymore. Like, it's kind of like everyone has movement ability most of the time. Everyone has like burst damage or like a sustain ability or something like that. So I feel like, I don't know. It's definitely good for Reaper to get that, but it's just gonna like buff his overall viability instead of making him a specialist, which I mean, like, some people will like that, some people won't. I'm probably more in like the second category. I feel like some characters having advantages more on some maps and against certain comps and stuff is fine, but overall it's not really like the end of the world. Soldier 76, I know he's getting a new perk with the like sprint speed. Like after sprinting for 2 seconds, it goes up to even like 60% additional movement speed. I think he's getting his reload sprint thing as a part of his base kit, which honestly is going to feel super good if that's the case. Allowing Soldier to reload, while sprinting introduces new playstyle opportunities and reinforces his identity as a mobile damage dealer. Temporary movement speed penalty during the reload has been added to ensure the interaction carries a meaningful trade-off. Sprint can now reload while sprinting. Reloading while sprinting reduces sprint's movement speed bonus by 50%, diminishing over the duration. Added custom setting allowing sprint to cancel reload. Agility training major perk removed, full stride new, sprint's movement speed bonus gradually increases by an additional 25% over 2 seconds. So yeah, this is a huge quality of life for Soldier. This is something that a lot of people have been asking for. I feel like this is a very nice change, and it adds like a lot into his hero fantasy. Being able to reload makes it a lot easier for 1v1, so it's a little harder to dive you because you can kind of use your movement while reloading after you get jumped on. That feels really nice. But they didn't just like straight add it. They gave a little bit of a caveat, which I think is good. Sombra, I know Sombra's getting a rework eventually, so I'm actually really curious to see what they're gonna do like as a temporary placeholder. Perk cost, minor perk cost reduced by 6%, major reduced by 5%, stealth movement speed bonus reduced by 50% while revealed by damage. But her stealth isn't even permanent anymore. So I know they're like nerfing movement speed bonuses in general, but like, this is really funny. Poor Sombra players, man. I am so sorry. The rework's coming in a few months, don't worry. Tracer? I could see Tracer nerfs, maybe, to compensate for a lot of mobility being cut down. Because, like, I mean, with characters being less mobile, especially if they add it to, like, a bunch of the supports and stuff, then it's going to be really easy for a Tracer to just get free kills. Perk cost, minor perk cost reduced by 10%, major perk cost reduced by 7%. Wow, okay. So they straight hard buff Tracer. So I think this is just walking back a change that they made like a few seasons ago, back when Tracer was dominating the lobbies with all of her broken perks. I think all of her perks now are also still really strong, so Tracer buffs is crazy. Dive is probably going to be really strong. Vendetta. More Vendetta changes. Oh man, poor Vendetta. I mean, I feel like at this point she's already kind of fine, so it's like if they keep nerfing her, it's the equivalent of stop, she's already dead. Dev comment, Vendetta can feel difficult to mitigate once she closes the distance. These adjustments lower her survivability and make it more challenging for her to remain while within effective range, forcing more deliberate positioning and cooldown usage. Armor reduced from 100 to 75. And that's not with a health buff? That's not with a health buff. So she's just straight up losing HP. Minor perk and major perk cost reduced. Onslaught passive movement speed per stack reduced from 4% to 2%. Overhead swing bonus range reduced from 2. Holy shit. I mean, okay. Don't get me wrong. I actually kind of wanted these for a while now. I feel like her movement speed buff was really annoying because it felt like even on mobile characters, it was really hard to get away from her, and this was ridiculous. She genuinely had so much range on her overhead that it just felt inescapable sometimes. You could literally, like, I could be popping Hyper Ring and Glide Boost and be triple jumped in the air as Juno and still get hit by an overhead because she had good stacks from farming my tank or something. So these are good changes. But it's just kind of excessive. I think Vendetta might genuinely be dead this format, which is, I mean, in OWCS, that's probably good, but it's like, oh my god. Yeah, this is brutal. Widowmaker, they might implement a base kit perk? Perk costs reduce. Okay, no. Yeah, I was like really confused. I'm like, what are they gonna do for Widow? Yeah, they just reduce some perk costs. That's fine. And now moving on to support. Ana, I can 100% see a nerf to her headshot perk. Other than that, I don't really know. With the removal of support passive, Ana's become more dependent on Biotic Grenade for self-healing. Lowering its cooldown gives more frequent access to the ability while supporting both offensive and defensive use cases. Biotic Grenade cooldown reduced from 14 to 12. So it's back to 12 seconds. Okay, yeah, so with this and like the tracer buffs and stuff, Dive might actually be like so back, and I'm not even just talking about like Vendetta. Yeah, this is gonna be really, really scary, especially because if they don't like buff Suzu's cooldown, for example, that means Grenade is going to be on way, way, way more uptime than Suzu, because it was literally only like 1 second short of Suzu's cooldown, so the Kiryu would basically always have the Suzu for it. So this is a huge Ana buff, and I'm not like this, even ignoring like the self-heal part of it, like just using this offensively is going to be crazy now. Brigitte, I can see a Brig micro buff of some kind, maybe the thing that like makes Shield Bash proc Inspire, adding base kit or something like that. Brig's Star ability can feel low despite needing to operate in close range to be effective. Increasing barrier shield health gives her more flexibility and better supports her defensive role. Barrier health increased from 250 to 300. Combat Medic Minder per cooldown refunded increase from 0.5 to 0.75 seconds. Yeah, so I was actually thinking about this last night when I was thinking about ways to like help supports, because I think there was a couple of supports that are underperforming compared to others, and I feel like I was literally thinking, Brig, oh, maybe she can get like 25 more barrier health. 50 more barrier health is kind of crazy. She's going to be like really tanky now. I think one of the only good tanks for diving might be like Winston if there's a Brig on the enemy team now, because he ignores the armor and has like that speed buff perk. You'll definitely have to try to like run her down with like a Mauga or like a Hazard or something now instead. Yeah, this is a really good Brig buff, especially considering she was already starting to do well in OWCS again, but I feel like in rank she was doing a lot more poorly. So yeah, this is huge. Jetpack Cat, I could see maybe a little micro buff to Jetpack Cat. I feel like her viability has decreased a lot since they like giga nerfed her. Maybe they'll like reduce the cooldown for Claws Out or something again back to where it was, because I think it was already a fine cooldown. Frenetic Flight acceleration reduced by 11%. Claws Out major perk cooldown reductions now apply to the Claws Out cooldown. Okay, so this is only like for things like Kitsune Rush outside of when she comes to Stadium in the mid-season, but this is a huge nerf. Oh my god, 11%? I mean, they did say they were cracking down on mobility, but wow, that is a whole lot. Man, poor Jetpack Cat, I feel like she wasn't even doing that great. Now, Juno. The one thing on the list that I got spoiled for me. Pulsar Torpedoes 6v6 cooldown increased from 10 to 12 seconds. Glide boost movement speed bonus reduced from 50% to 40%. Yeah, so this is where I crashed out earlier when I was hearing about this, because of course I was asking for more and more and more 6v6 like changes, right? Specific 6v6 balance changes instead of just all around balancing, right? And the monkey's paw curled. The monkey's paw curled. I feel like this is like even only 1 second would have been better, because it would have made more sense for locked on, but 12 seconds is just going to be really, really rough, because if you don't have locked on, Pulsar is going to feel so bad, especially on the maps where it was already kind of awkward, where it wasn't like open enough. The biggest thing that upsets me though is the glide boost movement speed reduction, because so I get that they're reducing the movement speed on like a lot of mobility stuff, but this is going to really, really suck, especially now the Tracer's getting buffed, dude. But it's like, when you have a character whose entire identity is their mobility, especially because they have no other form of like self-sustain outside of like the passive that isn't that great, and that relies on their movement to be able to like, you know, go around and help her team out, get away from dives, try and strafe a hit scan if she absolutely needs to duel, access new high ground positions and stuff, and oh my god, this is gonna be, oh dude, I didn't even think about how this affects wrapping around the map. I don't think you can make it around Lijiang anymore. Yeah, so on Night Market, you could just barely go off the map from spawn with like a hyper ring and stuff, and touch the point. I mean, maybe Maybe it'll be enough with the Hyper Ring specifically, because the Hyper Ring will stack up, because I think you already hit the speed cap anyway, like well over the speed cap with both cooldowns, but they're just going to encourage both cooldowns needing to be used just to do a lot of your plays in terms of survivability. Like, it won't affect things like Juno Brig and OWCS, because, I mean, like, Brig just got, like, really hella buffed, and Juno felt a lot more stationary anyway in OWCS, but, like, this is gonna feel so bad, dude, and it sucks because, again, I know it's like a blanket kind of, you know, nerf to a lot of mobility things, but it just really sucks when you do it to support specifically, because now that means they're weaker into dive, and it's like Juno was finally in a spot where she wasn't considered a throw pick, like, on the scale of Mercy anymore, but she was also, like, not incredible, like, she was just solid, like, she was just okay. Like, she was good on her good maps and just kind of anywhere else. So, like, I don't know. This just really upsets me. And obviously, I'm biased. You know, you can see my clear bias. The whole channel's themed after Juno. But this is just rough, man. Lifeweaver, he's getting reworked eventually anyway. They're probably just going to do something in between like they did with Sombra and Roadhog. Probably something for his survivability, because it feels like his survivability is kind of bad now, even with the medic passive. Lifeweaver struggle to find effectiveness following reductions to his survivability and the introduction of in-combat healing reduction, increasing his overall healing output and adding a cleanse to life grip provides. Oh yeah, I forgot about the cleanse. With additional survivability and utility to his base kit. Healing Blossom max healing increase from 80 to 90. They just keep buffing Healing Blossom, man. Rejuvenating Dash healing increase from 45 to 55. Life grip now cleanses allies when pulled, so the Seed Major perk cooldown reduced from 14 to 11 seconds. I don't even know if this perk is like useful, but I mean, yeah, it's gonna make Lifeweaver have better numbers, and like the life grip cleanse is really good. I think we need more like cleanses in the game that aren't on the scale of Kiriko's Suzu, where it has like splash and stuff like that. But I mean, there's just another case of them just buffing the numbers on Lifeweaver to like avoid power creep on him and like scale him better, I guess. Like, it's gonna help him, but it's just kind of like a nothing change to me. Lucio, what are they gonna keep doing to Lucio? I mean, I feel like they keep nerfing Lucio when they really don't need to. The big reason that Lucio is so good, especially in like pro play, and why he's been meta over in pro play since his like inception basically a decade ago, is specifically because he has a monopoly on speed that like the only other character that can provide speed in the base kit is Juno, and Juno cannot do it nearly to the level that Lucio can. But like the problem is like he's not like broken or anything, he's just good at what he does. Crossfade, 6v6 healing reduced from 20 to 18. Accelerando major perk change, gain 50% attack speed while Lucio's speed song is active, triple during Amp It Up. Sound Wave Rider minor perk can no longer be charged before a round begins. I don't know what this perk is. I think it's something to do with Boop. But I mean, nerfing this in 6v6, I mean, I guess. And what was this one? This one was the during sound barrier, amp is active or something. I think a lot of people were complaining about that, so I mean, that's probably fine. Okay, I just looked at the perks and stuff. Soundwave Driver increases your next boop knockback by 25% and damage by 50% while wall riding. I mean, that makes sense to not be able to charge it beforehand. Okay, no, Beat Drop is Amp It Up is active during sound barrier. Accelerando was Lucy's attack speed is increased by 50% while Amp It Up is active. Okay, so it's a tiny nerf during the Amp It Up part, but it gives you like constant attack speed. That's actually kind of insane. That's kind of ridiculous, actually. Yeah, and Lucio should almost always have his speed song on for the most part, and so like 15% attack speed all the time, and then 45% during Amp? This is huge. Kiriko, Ooh, they're actually hitting Kiri. So they're probably nerfing Kiri. I want to assume they're nerfing Kiri. They might even make one of her minor perks base kit, actually. Yeah, I assume they're nerfing Kiri. The only thing I can really think of that you can do to Kiri without, like, completely gutting her, if you want to nerf her, is to reduce the duration of Kitsune. Kitsune's duration is, like, really long for no reason, especially because it has a lingering effect, kind of like Orbital Ray, except Kitsune is, like, really fast to charge, even with, like, the charge nerf, and it's, like, one of the best ultimates in the entire game. So Kiriko's mobility has been reduced to limit her ability to escape from long distances and require her to play closer to her teammates. To help offset this change, we're increasing the cadence of healing Ofuda to support overall effectiveness despite the mobility reduction. Swift Step teleport range reduced from 35 to 30 meters. Healing Ofuda fire rate increased from 5 to 7 per second. What? How does that even make sense? What? Okay, we're gonna make you play closer to your teammates, and then we're gonna increase the speed of your thing while you're already closer to your teammates. Okay, yeah, at this point, it gets to a point, right, where it feels like, and like, don't get me wrong, I think Kiryu needed nerfs. Again, I think Kitsune would have been a really good nerf here, but it gets to a point where they just keep forcing supports to play as passively as possible. We saw it when Juno initially got her movement speed nerfed then, and we're seeing it now. We saw it when Wooyong got literally everything but his strong damage output that people complained about nerfed back then. We saw it with Lifeweaver reducing his base health because he was 275, now he's 250, so he can't take angles on his own anymore. We saw it with Zen. They literally said, we're buffing Zen's survivability by making him more lethal instead. It's like they just keep wanting to force supports to play more and more and more passively, but the problem is that you can't do that in modern Overwatch, especially in 5v5. You gotta do damage, you gotta take angles, you gotta do stuff on your own, but they keep saying, no, get back over behind your tank down main, no. And it's so frustrating. And what's funny is I don't even think I would be mad about Swift Step in general just getting nerfed here, but by increasing, like by buffing the healing Ofuda Fire right here, you're literally just embedding in Kiriko players' heads. I've had a huge problem with Kiriko players overall. I hate Kiriko players so much. Like there's a big problem with Kiryu players in that they really want to heal bot despite being able to weave their damage and having some of the highest damage output in the game. Like, so what they're doing here by increasing the healing rate, they're gonna just make Kiriko players go like, ooh, I should heal more because my healing got buffed. And it just gets to a point, man. It gets to a point. I'm getting really sick of it. Mizuki, I can honestly see a Mizuki nerf because he has like the highest win rate, I think not just of any support, but any character period in basically every rank. He's really strong, like really strong. Developer comment, these changes make small adjustments to the flow of Mizuki's kit. Katashiro return can now be used more reactively, while other tuning helps keep his overall power within intended bounds. Minor perk cost increased by 16% and major cost increased by 10%. Remedy Aura 6v6, minimum healing reduced from 5 to 4.5, maximum healing reduced from 20 to 18. Kekai Sanctuary no longer spawns if Mizuki is eliminated during the cast time. Katashiro Return can now activate Return while other animations are active, excluding Kekai Sanctuary's cast animation. Movement speed bonus reduced from 35% to 30%. I feel like these were kind of brutal. This is really good, though. This is actually a really nice change. A lot of people were complaining. I actually had this experience a lot, where you'd use your Katashiro, and you'd be, like, throwing a chain, or you'd throw your glaive, or something like that, and then, or, like, throwing a hat, and, like, you barely miss the timing of returning because of that, because you just can't return, like, the last second like you'd like to. And it was actually really rough. Put me in a lot of bad situations when I was playing Mizuki that I didn't want to be in, because I didn't know that that was actually a restriction, was that if you were in another animation, you couldn't return. So I think this is perfectly fine. These are really brutal, though. Mercy. We know Mercy's getting Flash Heal, and she's getting a double Flash Heal perk, which is kind of scary. I'm wondering what they're going to do otherwise to her, though. I don't know if she'll get buffed or nerfed. Dev Comet Flash Heal has been proven to be a compelling and expressive ability and is now being added to Mercy's base kit. This gives her more reliable on-demand healing or rewarding thoughtful cooldown management. To account for the added power, some of Mercy's baseline healing and mobility have been slightly reduced. That's funny, expressive ability, and it's pressing a button. Flash Heal. Flash Heal moved from perk to baseline ability. Cooldown reduced from 15 to 12 seconds. Base healing increased from 50 to 60. Healing multiplier on allies below 50% health reduced from 3 times to 2 times. Godusia's staff. Healing reduced from 60 to 55. Was that 60? I didn't even know it was at 60. I thought it was still at 55 this whole time. Guardian Angel launch speed reduced by 10%. Double dose major perk new. Flash Heal gains an additional charge, but its base healing is reduced by 10. I mean, like, yeah, these are changes. I really can't say much about Mercy. I used to be a Mercy main, but when it comes to a lot of changes with Mercy, unless they do something absolutely insane, there just really isn't much to talk about. Her playstyle is basically the same. Wooyong. Not sure what to do with Wooyong, but I feel like they're just going to nerf the movement speed of his shift, because fuck Wooyong, I guess. Rushing Torrent duration reduced from 4 to 3.5 seconds. Dude, what is Wooyong doing? Cool. Let's nerf the duration of the survivor support's movement ability that was already kind of just okay. It gets to a point, man. Zenyatta, please be Discord Orb. Please be Discord Orb. 6v6 Discord Orb nerf. Okay, you know what? I'm fine with that because I play 6v6, but I think in general, 30% Discord Orb is just ridiculous. I'm honestly surprised, though, that they didn't add base kit floats when they were adding all these base kit perks. I feel like they could have just did the 25% in both modes and then just added base kit float and given him something else. All right, map updates. This is going to be for Antarctic Peninsula, I believe, specifically, because I don't think we're getting Tokyo until next season. Drilling rig, formerly Labs. This is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. A lot more open. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like they opened it up a lot. It's added a little bit of verticality here. Okay. I feel like that was a big thing about Peninsula. A lot of them specifically, it was just, it was like really claustrophobic. It's also kind of weird that they changed it to a drilling rig. Like, I mean, they didn't need to do that. It's cool though. I won't complain. Like, it is cool, but I don't know why that was closed in the first place. Yeah, it opened it up. Oh yeah. Then we have a icebreaker. Wait, let me see this one again. They got rid of this cover piece right here. Move that back, added another doorway up here. I think they raised this a little bit. And they opened this up, like, way more. There could be, like, tracer duels going on over here now. Yeah, this is what I was interested in, because it didn't look very different to me at first. Oh, okay. That is a huge difference, actually. Oh, no, you can go in the ship now. Oh, shit. That's kind of crazy, actually. So I think they shortened the length of the ship, but you can actually go in the ship now, so there's a more meaningful coast side. And let me see this part over here. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that is way different. Anomaly was sub-level. Oh my god, that is open. That is so open. I think, did they shrink it a little bit too? I think this is a little shorter as well, so you probably access it a lot easier. Like, for example, I don't remember if Juno could, like, double jump glide boost up there reliably. I think she'd get clipped on there. I think maybe now she can. Yeah, this part was always ugly. I hated this part. Oh my god. What a change. What? That is so different. That is completely different. Also, black ice. That's cool. We have the, what I would call it, coast side. Oh, yeah. That is way different. Also, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but they got rid of that really ugly blue-gray tint. It was really, really ugly. It was way nicer. Also, I'm not sure if they just did it for the trailer flare, but that up there looked like it could freeze you. It might have been just for the trailer, but I'm pretty sure that freezes you, which is kind of insane. Wait, there's no doorway here anymore? Oh, interesting. Yeah, so I don't even know if that area up there is there anymore, unless there's a different way to access it. Huh. It looks like it's going to be Stadium updates after that. There's a lot of stuff in Stadium that I am... Oh, Underwatch patch. No, this is interesting. A lot of stuff in Stadium. Oh, yeah, okay, that's the old patch. That's why I was like, huh? I was like, are they doing stuff for Underwatch now? Yeah, I'm not going to be covering any of the Stadium stuff here because I've already been recording for an hour. But yeah, basically, that's going to do it for the patch notes. Overall, there's a lot of changes here, but I think genuinely a lot of these might be some of the worst changes I've seen. It's gonna make so many characters just feel so clunky. Yeah, I can't say I'm a fan of a lot of these. I just can't. But I don't know, man. That's just my opinion. Let me know yours down in the comments below. I'm sure you probably already have by now before the video has ended. But if you liked it, please sure to leave a like, as I'll put this video and the channel into the YouTube recommended. And if I content or somewhere like it, like more Overwatch content. I do want to play more this season, even though Juno did get hit really bad, and I'm basically a Juno one-trick. Then press consider subscribing and turning notifications if you haven't already, because it supports the channel or anything else, and it's absolutely free. Plus, it'll help you get notified when my Juno map guide drops, which I'm still gonna bring out. Be sure to check the description down below for all my socials, my Twitter, my TikTok, my Twitch. And yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. This is Salem, signing off.
Welcome.